Start recording.
There we go. Good evening. Warm welcome to the Gita Wisdom session. We are on chapter 18, perfection of renunciation. This has been a question in Arjuna's mind that, what will happen if I become sannyas? I don't want to fight this war. So Krishna is giving the final conclusion in this chapter. And it is also called Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. It is the longest chapter of Gita with 78 verses. We will be starting part 3, covering verses 29 to 40. Even this is not updated. Don't bother. It is actually verse 40. So you will find a lot of errors in this presentation because it is not up to date. But we will manage. We should go ahead with the show irrespective of the modes, Maya, which is trying to come in the way. So let us start with, first I will offer my obeisances to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I have a very sad news to share with all of you that he left his body to heavenly abode just this morning at 9:20 a.m. So it's a very sad day for us. But then it is said we should not grieve when someone departs. We should rejoice because they have gone to the upper planets. Then I offer my obeisances to my Guru, His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji. And then I thank all of you. I seek your blessings that I will be able to do some justice on this chapter as we start the session. We will start with saying our prayers. Is it coming up? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare
You can repeat after me.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama
Rama
Rama.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Now, since it is such a day where, we have our Guru Maharaj leaving us, so I said, let me start with giving them a tribute. So this is a message of condolence from our Prime Minister. Then he was not well since last 3-4 days. And then this is his last statement. He says, I just don't need the best doctor, hospital, or medicine to return to healthy life. He says, I need my disciples to glorify Krishna more by chanting their rounds attentively. Demonstrate to Krishna that you want to please him. Give me my medicine by becoming good devotees. The medicine that will cure me is with all of you, not with doctors. Please take my request seriously. So till the last breath, he was only thinking about his devotees. And Guru Maharaj is such an important person now I am initiated by him. All the sinful actions that I do, part of it goes to him. So it is not easy to be a Guru Maharaj because you carry on your shoulders the burden of the entire discipline, devotee community on your shoulders. 1 or 2 quick videos just to show how he led his life.
वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरण.
This is one clip and
शरीर हमारा नहीं है, ये शरीर है भगवान का और हमें सेवा में इस शरीर का उपयोग करना है किस लिए? भगवान के संदेश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैंने ये शरीर का उपयोग करना है धर्म के संदेश का प्रचार बढ़ाने के लिए। ये होना चाहिए हम सबका भाव।
He spent his entire life in the service of Krishna. He was such a committed person that I think he was just close to 80, and he got associated with Srila Prabhupada when he was around 22, 23. He was born in a millionaire's family, and he became a close devotee. And then, the last 65 years or so, he has never missed a Mangalarti early in the morning at 4 a.m. It's a record which none of us can ever even dream of achieving. He's well, he's not well, whatever time he goes to sleep, it doesn't matter. He will be in front of Krishna at 4 a.m. That was his commitment. It is very sad that we have to lose him, but then this is what you can say, the law of Krishna. Everyone who is born has to leave his body and go. So with this tribute and fond remembrance of my Guru Maharaj,
Shamji, where was he based?
he breathed his last in Dehradun, uncle.
But most of his time was in Bombay.
He was in Delhi, based in Delhi.
Delhi. Thank you.
And
As you said, Jivasya Maranam Dhruvam. No?
yes,
Mritam,
how-
Jivasya Maranam.
and how see Krishna takes care of him is that he passed away while laying the foundation stone of another temple in Dehradun. So Krishna says, till the last breath, you should be with me. You should pray to me. And our Guru Maharaj achieved that. It is very difficult to speak. But I
As he
have to
says
speak.
in 8th chapter, he says that Antakala is yes means Smaranti. So you will achieve.
You remember
Okay.
me at the time of your death. Antakaran is, I don't remember the verse exactly, but it says that you remember me at your last.
Antakale che mameva.
Antakale cha
Maranamukta
mameva.
kalevara.
Yes,
Maranam.
you will come back to me. So Guru Maharaj has achieved it. And then let me tell you that it was a great fight in me that I am overcome by emotion. But Guru Maharaj says, you should not grieve, you should rejoice. And that's the spirit I'm trying to learn. I don't want to speak on this subject today, but then I have a commitment to my Maharaj that no, if you have committed, you must go through with the class. So I will, no, I am overcome by emotions. I know I may sometimes feel like crying, but then please pardon me, I am human. So with this few words, so we are starting with, now let me go back to the slide. Yeah. The acronym of this chapter is SMILE. So what does SMILE stand for? S, summary of Karma Yoga. We studied that in the last class, where Arjuna asked Krishna this question. Can you tell me what is the difference between Tyaga and what is the difference between Sannyasa? So Krishna says, okay, fine. I have been explaining this to you, but I'll give you a brief summary. And he presents various scriptures. What do they say about Tyaga and Sannyasa? And then he says, this is my final opinion, Arjuna. Sannyasa, please understand, is renunciation of action. But this is very difficult for any of us to achieve, including you, Arjuna. Even though you are such a close devotee of mine, you are not qualified. So what you are qualified as a Kshatriya, as a Gruhastha, is Tyaga. And what is the difference between Sannyasa and Tyaga? He says, do not try to renounce action. Try to renounce the fruits of action. That is the subtle difference between the two, but it makes a difference of life, years of life, if not able to understand this. Why Arjuna wanted to have this clarification? Because he wanted to leave the battlefield in chapter 1, as you remember, and he said, I don't want to fight this war for a piece of land. Let me go back to forest and become a sannyas. So Krishna says, no, Arjuna, you are not qualified. You need to be pure for that. And it comes from years of preparation, lifetimes of preparation. And then he also says, what are the actions that you should do? Now Arjuna is having that doubt. He's fighting the war, a pious act. So then Krishna says, acts of charity, austerity, and penance must be performed as a matter of duty with no attachment. So you are in the war, but you are not fighting the war for yourself. You are fighting it for me. The moment you are doing it, you have surrendered the fruits to me, and I will take care of whether you are going to be punished or you are going to be rewarded. So this is the essence of this whole chapter. Now let's go further. Then M. M stands for modes of nature. We studied what is yoga ladder between 13 to 17, and this covers six most important topics, which is very important for us. Gnana, that is knowledge. Karma, whatever action we perform. We are the performer. Karta. Buddhi is intelligence. Dhruti is willpower. And Sukam is the result of all karma. Why we should work at all? Why should we go to the office and bring home a salary? Any action you think, the ultimate end result is we are working for Sukha. We want to get some happiness. Now you may be wondering, why is Krishna stressing this so much? The reason is, see, Jnana, all of us have knowledge. Someone is an engineer, someone is an accountant, someone is a doctor. Fine. Now this is all material knowledge. Krishna says you must have the understanding of what knowledge I should seek. Now, let's say we decide, okay, because Krishna has said, has guided us, we will go in search of the right knowledge. Is it so easy? It is not so easy. You may ask me why. The reason is, let's say I go to open Vedas. We all know Vedas is the treasure house of knowledge. In Vedas, we don't know or we are not aware that there are three sections of Vedas. So we must know what section to pick up. There is Karma Kanda, which is all rituals. Most of us get stuck in that, and the whole life is spent. You just don't know that there is something more than that called Upasana Kanda, where you worship the various avatars of the Lord. That is not the end. Then there is something called Bhakti Kanda, where he tells you that worship me. And that is Gita. That is why they say Gita is the summary of all the Vedas put together. So Krishna is emphasizing that try to get the right knowledge. Karma. We have studied in the last chapter and we have been listening to Krishna speaking to Arjuna. He says, try to be selfless. But we are all selfish. What can I get out of every action is what guides us. Krishna says, step away from that. Don't do sakama karma. Try to do nikama karma. Where try to move away from that attachment that this is mine, this is what I want to achieve. Because then you are under the influence of modes. Karta, performer. Jairam, me, Ramesh, uncle, everyone, all of us are performers of our own actions. And he says, whenever you perform an action, try to think, try to reflect, is this the action that I have to perform? And the action and the performer is also under the three modes. So he says, try to be in the mode of goodness. Intelligence. Now you'll be wondering why intelligence, willpower, why is Krishna emphasizing this so much? Krishna says, right, the lust, anger, greed, the three things which are a challenge for any human in this world are residing in intelligence, and intelligence drives our willpower. So he says, try to purify your intelligence. And he tells us today in this chapter, there are intelligence all by the three modes. So intelligence in the mode of passion, intelligence in the mode of ignorance should be avoided. Try to guide your intelligence into the mode of goodness. Same thing for willpower. So, and then he says, if you are able to understand the flow, he says, even choose your happiness because that also is in the mode of, in the three modes. Now you will be wondering, how can happiness be in three modes? We will see that. Now, for example, if I smoke, I get happiness, but that happiness is temporary. Krishna says you will slowly end up spoiling your health. It becomes a habit. Economically, it's going to weaken you. So what is the point in choosing smoking as happiness? So if you can choose the right happiness, then you're going to make progress in life. So this is the reason why Krishna stresses on these six factors in this chapter. So we have finished knowledge, karma, karta, last class. We are going to do Buddhi, Dhruti, and Sukham now. Let's go to. Let's start the first verse. Buddher Vedam Rupechaiva Gunatas Trividam Shrunu Prochyamanam Asesena Pratakvena Dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth. Now here about the three types of intelligence, Trividham, and determination, Dhruti, Dhrutishtaiva, according to the three modes of material nature. So now Krishna says, he's trying to give the foundation of understanding to Arjuna. He says, I'm going to speak on intelligence, I'm going to speak on willpower, and let's see, they are also under the influence of modes. He says, Buddha, intelligence. Bhedam means differentiation, analysis, categorization. So he says, be aware that your intelligence and willpower are also following the influence of three modes. Gunatas Trividham Shrunu. Now I am going to tell you how these three modes act and listen to them from me. Shrunu is listen to me. Prochyamanam Asesena. What is Asesena? Asesena is I am going to speak to you in detail. I am going to give you everything that is there to know on these two things. So listen to me carefully. Pratakvena Dhananjaya. So I'll tell you what are the differences. Then you will be in a position to appreciate why I should be. First is what is the difference and how I should be cultivating the right intelligence and right willpower. Now this is the threefold division of intelligence. We start from here. So Krishna has defined intelligence many a times in Gita. So he says, either you are a Sumeda, where you have the right intelligence, or you are a Durmeda, where you have poor intelligence. So Krishna says, try to move away from poor intelligence to good intelligence. Next verse. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya akarye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha yaveti buddhi sapartha satviki. So this is now buddhi in goodness, intelligence in goodness. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is to be not feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. Now let me see if this, no, okay, we will follow the, I had created a lot of flow diagrams to make it simple, but Krishna's mind will is we don't go through that. So let's go through whatever my old notes show. Pravrittim cha. So Krishna is saying, see, there are actions which you have to do, and you will get confused which action is good, which action is not good. So Pravrittim cha means do actions which are mentioned in the scriptures. That is Karma Yoga. Nivrittim cha, that is Jnana Yoga, because you know what actions are not to be done. Karya is action, which I should do, which I should not do. Now you may be wondering, what is that? Why is this doubt? What action I should do, what action I should not do? Bhaya, bhaye. What should be feared and what should not be feared? Nice example, Acharya gives. They say, now you are a child, you have a child, and now what do we teach the child? We teach the child that, you should be careful from fire. Don't touch a knife. Don't touch a live electric fire. So these are all good fear. You are taking protection. You are saving life. Now, but Krishna also says akarya. There are some things which you are unnecessarily bhayam. You are fearing unnecessarily. And what it could be? The example is, now child may have fear of going to school. All of us have been children and we know who likes to go to school. Not many. Why? Because for the child, the school is unknown. So the child doesn't know, what am I going to get into? Am I going to meet good friends, not so good friends? Am I able to cope up? So many things. So the child is reluctant to go. The difference between child going to school and the child playing is very clear. Playing, it loves to, but going to school, it is hesitant. So Krishna says, have the right kind of fear and try to overcome the wrong kind of fear. The one which is the child is not liking to go to school, that we have to correct as parents. So then you should be that will set the right direction for the child as to how it should live. Bandham moksham chaya veti. He says, understand what is the cause of bondage and what is the cause of liberation. So now let me ask you, is drinking taking you to liberation or taking you to bondage? Anyone can answer.
Bondage.
Bondage. So our intelligence is quite capable of telling us, guiding us. But does this mean that all of us stop drinking? Very difficult question. That is the essence of this understanding. Having information is not enough. What is your inclination? Are you willing to enforce that discipline of what your intelligence says? If it says don't smoke, will you stop smoking? If it says don't drink, will you stop drinking? Some of us can, some of us cannot. So the people who cannot control, that is what Krishna is saying. Try to realize what is to be done and what is not to be done. Stop doing what is not to be done and start doing what is to be done. If you can do that, then you can define your own liberation. You stop smoking, you have stopped getting bonded. If you start praying, you started your journey towards liberation. That is the essence of this verse. Buddhi sapartha satviki. This is buddhi in the mode of goodness. Let us go to the next verse. There were a lot of things which to miss. Let us see if possible, we may repeat the session or let us see what to do. So let's go to the learning essence. Yaya dharmam adharma karyam chakaryam evacha ayatavat prajanati buddhi sapartha rajasi. Now this is buddhi in the mode of passion. O son of Pruta, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action which should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. So quite easy to understand here. He says, please understand dharma, adharma, religion, irreligion. Now you may be wondering, well, it is quite clear to me. Now if I ask you or give you an example, then you will start wondering. Now let's go back to Ramayana. Now Vibhishna and Ravana were brothers. So there is something called Bhatru Dharma, brother Dharma. And as per that, Vibhishna should have supported Ravana. But what did Vibhishna do? Vibhishna supported Rama. So there are people who have material intelligence who will say that, oh, Vibhishna did not follow the brother Dharma. He went and supported the brother's enemy. This is material level of analysis. If you were to follow Gita, apply your intelligence, what is the foremost dharma of anyone? To support the Lord. Dharma is to follow the path of the Lord. In simple terms, what is religion? It leads you on the path of dharma. So follow your seriously. Don't try to deviate. Don't try to speculate. So Vibhishna was following his dharma and he got liberation. People who comment that, oh, Vibhishna did not do his brother's dharma are only following the lower principle of dharma and ignoring the higher principle of dharma. When it is with the Lord, that is the higher principle. If at all Lord was not in the picture, and if Ravana had not done this heinous crime of stealing Sita, then the whole story would have been different. Even after knowing the full story, if someone says Vibhishna did not do his brother's duty, then that is, you are not able to understand the difference between dharmam and dharmam. Karyam, akaryam. So you should realize what actions to be done, what action not to be done. He's repeating that in the last verse and in this verse. Ayatavat prajanati. So that person who understands, who is able to differentiate uses intelligence properly, Krishna says, Buddhi Sapartha Rajasi. He is a person who is in the mode of passion. Because in the mode of passion, they do not have the proper understanding of what is religion and what is irreligion. We just try to show that we have an understanding, but our understanding is not proper. From the figure, you can understand what is intelligence in the mode of ignorance. Yeah. And people who are, they are all innocent people, and they are taken under the shelter, and they are brainwashed to believe that if I do an act of terrorism, I will go to heaven. If a person sitting in the power of knowledge gives you a wrong information, then it is very likely that we can get misled. So Krishna says the same thing in this verse. Dharmam iti ya manyate tamasa sarvarthan viparitamscha buddhi sapartha tamasi. Buddhi in ignorance. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strive always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance. So what is the essence of this is, if the person believes that by killing someone, by destroying someone's property, I am going to achieve heaven. Now, this is a very, very selfish understanding of religion. And the person who is guiding him is making a mistake which he is going to pay for it in lifetimes to come. Because he is guiding an innocent person to follow the wrong path. If only he had said that, no, whichever religion you come from, destroying others, killing others, having the motto of violence will never take you to liberation. It is only going to put you down into bondage. But this is what is the Kali Yuga. We have all kinds of people, and it is on us. The why Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna and through him to all of us is that please pause and understand. Even if you were to come across a message which is something like this, if you are able to do this, you will go to heaven. What stops you from cross-checking? Cross-check with others who are slightly more knowledgeable, have a slightly better understanding, and sarvarthan viparitamscha. You are, because of this misunderstanding, because of poor intelligence, what you are doing is you are considering religion to be irreligion and irreligion to be religion. Violence to be something taking you to heaven, whereas it is non-violence which is going to be taking you to heaven. So this is buddhi in ignorance. And whose control is this buddhi? It is very easy to blame someone who is giving me that message. Now, Krishna says, you must evaluate. There are so many things which come across your way. Now, if someone were to say that, please jump off from the fourth story of a building, will we do it? And if someone says, you don't worry, you jump, you will go to heaven. Even then, you should be a foolish person if you are about to jump or planning to jump, contemplating to jump. So, this is the intelligence that we should exercise. It is, you should look at your situation, understand what inputs are coming to you, and then assess, evaluate, and then decide, okay, I'm not going to jump from the fourth floor just because this guy is saying I'm going to heaven. No way. That is what Krishna said. So, whatever is the truth, the opposite that is buddhi in ignorance. So you are striving always in the wrong direction. It is not that a terrorist or a jihadi is not doing action. The problem is he is doing the wrong kind of action and he's going to get the wrong kinds of fruits. So with that, we have finished the intelligence part of this chapter. Now Krishna comes to the next part, threefold division of determination. So now what is determination? Krishna has defined this earlier. He says, Determination is distilled desire, directed decisively. So desire is something which is the whole problem of modes comes into play when we have material desires. So Krishna says, if you are able to have that determination, who doesn't like to smoke? Who doesn't like to drink? Who doesn't like to spend money for the heck of it? All of us have that emotions. So all of us have that desire. So the desire drives us to that emotion. So he says, if you are able to distill your desire and then direct it in the proper direction, that is determination. It is not easy for us to achieve that. Now, for example, when my Guru Maharaj gave me a message that you have to chant 16 rounds every day. Let me tell you, it took me months to come to that level of maturity. One round, it used to take, it looked like it's a lifetime. I never was able to do 108 times. Then one round became 4 rounds, 4 rounds became 8 rounds, 8 rounds became 16 rounds. Today, it is a habit. So what I have done is I have overcome my emotion by my determination to distill my desire of I don't want to chant. That is my desire. But from there, I have reached the place where I can chant 16 rounds. So that is the example personally I can give that how you have to mold your determination to distill your desire. All of us are impulsive. All of us want to do some things which I know immediate pleasure. But whatever is immediate, Krishna tells us as we go along, that is poison. Whatever comes after practice, that is next. That is how willpower should be trained. That is how we should change our desire, change our determination. Saying that, oh God, oh Krishna, do not take me on that path of sensual pleasures. Take me on the path of devotional pleasure, spiritual pleasure. I know it is going to be slow. I know I'm not going to be fast. It doesn't matter. Because this is each individual is on his own journey. It is said, you start from your place, join the race at your to obtain Krishna's grace. So there is no pressure of time. You can do it over lifetime. It doesn't matter. As long as you're on the right path. Every little step you that is determinations used to distill your desire in the right direction. Let's go to the next verse. Yeah. Yaya bharayate mana pranendriya kriyaha yogena vyabhicharinya.
Shyam Guruji, can I just ask one, if possible,
Yep.
definition of Vyabhicharinya, of course, opposite of Vyabhicharinya. Vyabhichara here is what sort of a action or what sort of a life?
Right.
Action.
Avyabhicharinya is unbreakable. It is like, what is the word?
Yeah, I got it. Charati Dhatu. Yeah, I got it.
It
Thanks.
is
Complete.
I will give you the example to prove what is avyabhicharinya. Yogena avyabhicharinya dhruti sapartha satviki. Dhruti in the mode of goodness. So we start with willpower in the mode of goodness. Translation. O son of Pruta, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness. Another word for avyabhicharinya is steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. So, whenever you are looking at your willpower, you are trying to achieve something which is not easy, which is trying to overcome the attraction of material sense pleasures. Try to guide the intelligence by your willpower. And willpower is mana pranendriya kriya. It is not easy because you have to control your senses, you have to control your prana within you, you have to control your ego within you, you have to control your ahankara within you. Only if you do all this, that is mind, intelligence, and ego. If you are able to control that, then your willpower will be taking you in the right direction. Yogena avyabhicharin. Yeah. So it is faithful devotion. Only then you will get elevated. Dhruti sapartha satviki. This is determination in the mode of goodness. Now, you will be wondering as to how I can be yogena avyabhicharin. Yeah. How I can be steadfast. How I can have that unbreakable, unalloyed devotion to the Lord. There is a nice story. This is going back to Krishna. So Rukmini was a girl, queen, who wanted to marry Krishna from a very young age. But Krishna lived in Dwarka, she lived in some other place, and there was no way that they could be in touch. But she was determined. That is Yogena Avyabhicharinya. She was not willing to let go of her desire to marry Krishna just because she did not have a mobile phone. She was not able to tell Krishna. She was not able to send a message to Krishna. All the problems. And her brother decided to get her married to Shishupal, another king in that area, which Rukmini was absolutely against. She said, if I marry in this life, I will marry only Krishna. Now, one is you have a desire. Now, how will you make it unalloyed? How will you make it unbreakable? So now it so happened that the day of marriage started coming closer and closer. So she said, okay, let me send a message through a Brahmana to Krishna. So she sends that is the first love letter which is mentioned in the scriptures. So the Brahmana takes that letter to Krishna, and Rukmini has written in that. She says, I'm going to get married tomorrow. She gives the date, and please come and take me away. And now the Brahmana goes. Now she doesn't know whether the Brahmana has given the message or not, because those days communications were not as fast as it is today. And then now it is this day morning is the marriage day. And still she's not able to see the Brahman. Now imagine what should be her position. She will be having self-doubt. She doesn't know whether Brahmana has really reached Krishna. Has he delivered the message? Has Krishna read the message? Has Krishna understood the message? And is Krishna going to come to my rescue? She was not having any of this information when she was sleeping that night before her marriage. But her determination was such that she says, if I believe in Krishna, that's the end of it. Just that in the morning when she looks out, she is able to see the Brahman. But she's surrounded by so many people and they're not able to talk. Very sight of the Brahmana makes her feel confident that, oh, my prayers are answered. This is the state of mind when you are surrounded by anxiety, uncertainty, self-doubt, all these things that we also undergo when we are facing various situations in life. But what is the difference? Anxiety, stress, strain, lack of information are all common. The only difference between Rukmini and us is Yogena Avyabhicharin. Yeah, she was able to control her mind, her senses, and her intelligence through her willpower, saying that I will believe, I will trust that Krishna is going to rescue me. And we all know the story. Krishna comes and rescues Rukmini. So this is what Acharya explained, how we can have that yogena avyabhicharin. Yeah. So this comes through practice. It doesn't happen, I decide I read Gita verse 18.33 and from tomorrow I will get this. No, it doesn't happen that way. And I'll also give another small insight here. You see here in this chapter, Krishna is calling Arjuna as Partha. And every verse starts with, O son of Krishna. In the last verse, it was Drutisa Partha Tamsa. Now it is Partha Satviki. Then he will say Rajasi, and then he'll say Tamasi. So you will see in this word, in this chapter, he is been calling Arjuna as Partha. What is the secret behind that? There is, Krishna doesn't say anything which does not have a purpose. We only have to discover that. So, who is Pruta? Pruta is Krishna's aunt. She is the sister of his father, Vasudev. And her name is Pruta. And since Arjuna is the son of Pruta, he is called as Partha. And whenever he calls him Partha, he had two objectives. One is he is calling Arjuna, his dear friend, and also he is remembering his sister. That is the hidden essence behind using calling Arjuna as Partha so many times in this chapter. And they have done this analysis. I was reading it, very interesting uh, data point, which says Krishna has called Arjuna as Partha 116 times in Gita. So imagine just by calling Partha, Krishna is able to, in his mind, pay respects to his sister. So this is what we should be trying to learn, that whenever we can, try to uh, remember the Lord in a way that it is very easy. Now I'm not able to show you that video clipping, but I can tell you the story. So a lady goes to a shop and she says, give me some product. So that fellow, the shop owner, calls, oh Krishna, give me that product. And he pronounces Krishna. She says, I'm sorry. And when he mentions the name of that product, he has misspelled it. So this lady says, oh, you're calling him Krishna. Okay, I understand. And then you're asking him to bring this whatever goods I want, but you're mentioning the wrong goods. He says, you don't worry. Krishna understands. He says, you are Krishna, because the shop owner's name is Krishna. The helper boy's name is Krishna. Then she says, I'm getting confused. Who is going to get me the right goods? Then he says, you don't worry. I will call another Krishna and tell him the right name, and he will bring you the right product. And then this lady says, I'm puzzled. Why all of you are being called Krishna, Krishna, Krishna in your shop? He says, madam, we all have different names. But I came across this, message that saying that try to remember Krishna as many times as you can. Now I'm a busy shopkeeper. I'm in business. I don't have the time. So what I said, all the three of us will change our names in the shop as Krishna as long as we are there in the shop. And what did we achieve by doing that? We are remembering the Lord. So we should try to train our mind, use our intelligence, sharpen our willpower to try and remember Krishna in whatever we do. Let's go further. If I had that video, you would have really enjoyed that. Whatever I told you is only 10% of the flavor of that video. Next verse. Yayatu dharma kamartan drutya dharayate arjuna prasangena palakankshi dhruti sapartharajasi. So this is willpower in passion. But that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. So he says, if you have your determination and you have decided to pursue all the sense pleasures, falakankhi, you are only interested in what are the results. I do something, I need to get the result out of it. And you're always looking at religion. If you are talking about religion, you're going to say, my religion is the best. If you are going to talk about economic development, you're going to say that I must make the best profit, I must make the most profit, and I must make the fastest profit. So on economic development, again, you have selfish motives. Sense gratification, whatever are supposed to be not done, I have a tendency to pick them up. Because if I drink, I get instant. People say that I started drinking only because, no, this thing goes back to when we are a student. Now you would be an engineer or a medicine student. Pressure to study is very high. So what do kids do? They say that, if I have one smoke, my mind becomes very active. I'm able to study. Oh, tomorrow is the exam. How do I avoid the pressure? Let me have one beer. What does it matter? And that's how you pick up. And what's the objective? You are saying that just to be fresh, just to be sharp, just to do well in my exam, I'm going to do one ek BD, ek cigarette. Kya hota hai? But what you start, yes, you may even do well in the exam. You may get good marks. But what have you picked up in the path? You have picked up habit, which is going to keep you in bondage throughout your lifetime. Krishna says, do not choose those things which are going to take your willpower. Do not try to chase sense pleasures. Try to chase, in the next verse, in the Sukam verse, it comes, try to do things which need practice. For example, if someone says, reduce the mode of passion, and they give us an advice, do not eat onion, do not eat garlic. Now, this is a topic of major discussion everywhere. Onion and garlic are considered to be the best food for the body. But spiritually, if you want to progress, you should avoid onion and garlic. First of all, it's very difficult to explain. You have to understand this. And then you have to imagine on a monsoon day, if someone were to give me onion pakoras 5 or 10 years back, I would have loved it. It is my desire to have onion pakoras. But today, be it a monsoon evening or whatever, I will not touch onion. Because I have decided that I am giving up onion and garlic not because of taste. I have decided to give it up because I don't want to be attracted by the sense pleasures. I want to be attracted by emotional pleasure. And how do I do that? I control my passion. So if you are able to tell yourself this, then giving up onion and garlic becomes easier. Moving to the next verse. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam visadam madam evacha na vimunchanti durmedha Shruti sapartha tamati. Shruti in ignorance. And that determination, which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Such unintelligent determination, O son of Pruta, is in the mode of darkness. So, you have determination, but you have decided to use that into swapna, bhaya, shoka. You are a daydreamer. Swapna is dreaming. You are fearful of failure, and you have, at the fastest instance or the first instance, you start to grieve. If that is your tendency, that is your willpower, and to forget that grief, what you do, visadam madam evacha, you get into intoxication. It could be pan masala, it could be tambaku, it could be jarda. I'm not talking about only drinks and smoking, pan, eating, anything. You are trying to say that I will forget my grief, visadam madam evacha, by getting intoxicated. Na vimunchanti dhurmeda. Krishna says, oh dear, please understand, this is poor intelligence. This is not going to take you too far. It is going to catch up with you sooner than later. This is Partha Tamasi. This is in the mode of darkness. Let's go further. Now we are coming to the last portion of this. We started with intelligence. We finished willpower, and now we are coming to the fruits of all karma. So that happiness which we all want to enjoy. So Krishna says, be careful. Choose the happiness that is long-lasting, everlasting, rather than choosing a happiness which is short-lived. Let's start with the verse. Rukam tvidanim trividham runume bharatarsava abhyasad ramate yatra dukkantam sanigachati. O best of Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. So he's saying, now he's describing happiness. Sukam tvidanim trividam. He says even happiness is in the three modes. Srunume bharatar sarva. Please listen to me carefully, O son of Bharata, O best of Bharata. The most important line of this verse is Abhyasad Ramate Yatra. This is going to be the foundation for the next shloka. It says, anything which requires practice, Abhyasad, that gives you delight to the soul. Anything which gives you pleasure without practice, that gives enjoyment, happiness to to the body. So that is the reason why body chases sense pleasures, because it is instantaneous. Now we are in summer. Look at ice cream, we are tempted. And even though your doctor has said, you control your cholesterol, do not eat ice cream, but what we do? Say, yeah, one ice cream, what's going to happen? That is sense pleasure. Now, if I were to tell you that, no, instead of eating that ice cream, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 10 times. Would you like to do that? None of us would like to do it. They say, oh, who has seen the pleasure of what pleasure I'm going to get by chanting this? I will not do that. So Krishna says, do not do this. Try to understand any happiness which you achieve through practice. That is Ikkantam Saniggatyati. That will sometimes help you come to the end of all misery. Dukkha is misery. Antam is end. Nigachyati, you will overcome that. So he is laying the foundation stone of understanding clearly. Do not chase shortcut. Do not chase instant gratification. Today, you go to a shop, you will find instant idli mix, instant dosa mix. Now, all of us are tempted and all of us eat. But do we really know what are the kind of preservatives that goes into that instant food, instant mix? None of us are aware. And we say that, we complain that, our health is not right. Who knows which preservative is not favorable to our body constitution? Krishna says, just because it is ready to eat, yes, you can eat ready to eat when you're on travel. You can eat ready to eat once in a month. Do not make ready to eat as a habit. Now, I was with my son and he lives alone. Tendency is, let me go and pick up ready to eat parathas, ready to eat chapatis. You name it, it's available in the shop. Now, those can have yes, it saves you time. Yes, you have the money, you can afford it. No doubt about it. But is it the safest food that you can have? So you may have found a solution to time, you can affordability, but then you have not thought of long-term health. Because health doesn't get spoiled in one day or 1 month or 3 months. It takes time. Krishna says, try to pick up those happiness which is coming through practice. Dukkhantam sanigachyati. That will give you relief from this misery. Possibly, sometimes comes to the end of all distress. Now, Krishna also, we go through these 3 divisions of happiness. And Krishna has already defined, saying that key to happiness is reduction of desire. So I have also said, because we are all scientific students, let's understand this equation. Human, any of us, minus material desire is equal to self-realization. So we all think that, oh my goodness, self-realization looks like a very utopian dream. No, it is simple. If you are able to control your material desire, you are on the path of self-realization. Krishna also tells further, if you can make this material desire a spiritual desire, your progress to self-realization will be even faster. So every ritual has to become spiritual. Now, let me see. Is Sambhaji there? No. Now, I have a walking friend. And I have this habit of early morning walks. And when I go for a walk, I also carry a small bag with me. And I pass through a lot of flower-bearing plants and trees. I pick up few flowers and come. So what I have done, walking is good for the body. Yes. Then I keep listening to Gita when I walk. So my mind is absorbed in Gita. And then I also say that I don't want to waste this energy of mine just for walking. I also will see if I can pick up a few flowers and bring it. It is not that those flowers are not available in the shop. You give us 10 rupees, he will give you better quality of flowers. It is the spirit behind that. Now, my friend, he's not there in the class today, Sambhaji, he keeps asking me, why do you make an effort to pick these flowers? Because I say, I don't want to buy a ready-made garland and give it to Krishna. That is, someone has done it. I have the money. I go and give it to Krishna. Yes, I will do it, even if I don't have an option. But if I have an option, And if I see a flower, my first instinct would be pick it up from my own hands and offer it to the Lord. So what has happened is my desire to pray to Krishna is through my own effort. And I have covered my body, health, and also converting my desire to, yes, I must worship, but I will worship it in a way which I have taken some efforts to please Krishna. So that is the key to happiness. That is how we should train our mind. Nobody is born spiritual unless, people like our Guru Maharaj. They are blessed. We are all Aam Aadmi, laymen. We are in the babes in the wood. We are infant. We really don't know how to achieve Krishna. So Krishna says, we keep in mind any desire of yours that comes, try to uh, convert that desire. Try to convert that as an offering to me. So what I did, I took the flower from the plant and put it on Krishna's feet. So I have, it's a normal thing, but I have added my love, I have added my effort and my consciousness. I'm not doing it because of some, let us say, ulterior motives. My desire is to worship Krishna through my own. No, I have used my effort to bring the flowers home. That is the way you can train yourself. How you can reduce your desires or convert your desire from material to spiritual. Let's go to the verse. Yat tat agre vitam eva pariname amrutopamam tat sukam satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Sukam in the mode of goodness. Krishna says that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Yat tad agre means beginning. Visamiva, that which looks like poison in the beginning. Priname amrutopamam. But at the end, it becomes amruta, that becomes nectar. Tat sukam satvikam proktam. That is happiness in the mode of goodness. And that happiness gives you self-realization, atma buddhi prasadajam. It is not one step achievement, but you are slowly going to realize yourself. And what is self-realization is not to look outside. It is to look within. What I can do, control myself, to convert myself, to purify myself. That is the journey of spiritual self-realization. Now, in spiritual life, as Krishna has said, Vyasad Ramate Yatna. That's what he said in this last verse. So it comes from practice. And what do you practice, whether it is chanting or you're going to go to a temple, make it a habit. Or in the temple, you're going to offer some service. There are many people, if you see in the temple, there will be somebody people who will be cleaning the temple, little bit. Or they will be serving the prasad to the devotees who are coming there. Or if you are a Mataji, a woman, you go and, tie flowers and make a garland to the Lord. So in that 10 minutes or 15 minutes of your visit to the temple, try to see what service I can offer to the Lord. Going to the temple is good, but Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. Can I do that visit to the temple as something which will help me self-realize? Can I get that happiness by being service-oriented? Because through service, you can surrender. Because you offer service to your superior. So if you can adopt this and slowly modify your thinking, do not go to the temple just as a pilgrimage. Yes, it is first step. But can I do something as service? Please the Lord. Then you get that happiness. That happiness comes through service. Happiness doesn't come through sense pleasures. That is the essence of this verse. So from today onward, whatever Gita says, Gita is not informational. Because knowing this is not going to take me any far. If I first take this information, try to implement it, improve my inclination, then the process of transformation starts. That is Gita. Gita is a tool, path to transformation. It is not information. It is not how many verses you know, how many times you have read the Gita. Can you do one word of what Krishna says in Gita in the 700 verses? That is fine. If you can say, I will remove my Durmeda, at least in one case. Now, all of us have some weakness. If now let's say you drink 10 cups of coffee every day. And that is Durmeda, because 10 cups of coffee is not good for your health. Can you convert that Durmeda into Sumeda and say that from 10 cups, I will come down to just 2 cups? So I'm giving you this as an example. All of us have weaknesses where we overindulge, where we should not indulge. When I used to be drinking tea and coffee in office, every meeting, it used to be like 1 cup of tea and I will be fresh. It's a false fallback option. And when I got diabetes, the doctor said, you can't drink more than 2 cups of tea. Then imagine when I joined Iskcon, then I started looking at, what are the messages given to me by my Guru Maharaj. I realized if I can stop drinking coffee and tea, I would have achieved 2 things. One is I won't take sugar. And then I have stopped my dependence on coffee, tea to be alert in office. After that, I have worked for 10 years and I have never felt the need to fall back on tea and coffee. This is how you train yourself to, and what did you achieve? First is health. What does good health give you? Peace of mind. I take the lowest possible medicine for diabetes in the last 10 years. Why? Because of giving up this in the name of Krishna. I did this as a sacrifice. I did not give it up because of health reason. I said, oh Krishna, I don't want to do anything which is habit forming, or where I have become dependent on a cup of coffee or tea to define myself. I changed the definition so that Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. So because of that peace of mind, less medicines, and that is happiness. It takes time. It doesn't come to me immediately. Yet tat agre visham iva. In the first few months, I used to get headaches, withdrawal symptoms, because it is poison. But today, I can look back and say that whatever may be the aroma of coffee anywhere, I will not get tempted. Imagine the same mind, the same willpower, the same intelligence. 10 years back, 10 years hence. There's a big difference. And what is that? Why did it happen? Because of abhyasat ramate vidya. Practice. If you practice, you can do, you can achieve. So you should realize what is the right practice I should bring into play. Vichayendriya samyogat tat agre amrutapamam pariname visamiva sukam rajasam smrutam sukam in passion. Quite easy to understand. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appear like nectar at first, but poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion. Visayendriya. So this looks like poison. If I were to tell Ramesha, I know loves his coffee. If I tell him, oh, Ramesha, leave your cup of coffee tomorrow, I'm sure he will say, thank you very much, Rama. I don't want your advice. Because that 1 cup of coffee defines his whole day. So when he comes in contact with Visayendriya Samyoga, that is, why did this? Yeah. Give me a second. Yes. So that cup of coffee is, he is coming in his senses, his tongue, his mind, his intelligence favors that cup of coffee. And he is coming, his senses are coming in touch with that coffee and he feels, wow, I am happy. But please understand that what appears like nectar can give you an effect over a long period of time. So any sense pleasure has this caution. Please understand there could be hidden dangers behind that. Drinking a cup of coffee, if it is 1 cup, it is fair. If it increases because of pressure, because of stress, because of more meetings and what have you, then you are treading the path of slippery slope. So you should tell yourself, can I try to overcome this pleasure of having this coffee early in the morning? What will happen to me if I don't have it? That is the way of trying to change your willpower. Trying to do that. Krishna says, yes, it looks difficult. If you are able to do it, then you can move into the mode of goodness. If you're not able to do it, then you continue to be in the mode of action. Now, for example, if someone were to come and tell me a few years back, oh, please read Gita or, chant, the very thought I used to get worried and people run away. Oh my goodness, who's going to do all this thing? Imagine if only I had not taken this first step, 10 years down the line, I would not have been reading Gita or teaching Gita. Since I took that first step from passion, I got converted to goodness. So the charm remains the charm, but the intelligence and willpower within charm has undergone slight transformation. You have many, many things to achieve in life, but that first step is the most important thing. The journey of spirituality is, I define it to all my friends, move away from passion to goodness. Try to control your urge. That is moving away from passion to goodness. Very easy to understand what happens in this verse. Yad agre chanubande cha, sukam mohanam atmana, nidralasya pramodottam, chittamasam udharatam, sukam in ignorance. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from the beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and delusion, is said to be in the nature of ignorance. So what is Krishna trying to say? That yad agre, whichever, in the beginning till the end, that happiness which is going to be driven by nidra, sleep. Now, sleep is a biological need. Krishna is not saying that don't sleep. He says if you sleep for escaping from the pressures of life, that is not good. That is something which is going to give you only happiness in the mode of ignorance. Pramadottam, that which is intoxicating. It always starts with one glass, one cup, one peg, one cigarette. एक पान खाने से क्या होता है? That is something like, it is illusion. It is actually not relieving any of your pleasure or pressure. Drinking coffee, smoking, has it got any capability to remove your stress? Not at all. It is an illusion. In that few seconds, you feel that, oh, I have forgotten my pressure. I'm okay. And hence I have to go and do it. So he says, this leads to intoxication. Don't do that. Nidra is sleep. Alasya is laziness. Now, most of us have this habit of procrastinating. Anything which is difficult, I don't want to do it today. I want to do it tomorrow. As though there is a magic wand that problem will get reduced in intensity by 50% if I postpone it to tomorrow. That says that is illusion. And this ignorance is the worst kind. And all this pramaduttam, whichever is intoxicating, onion, garlic, coffee, tea, start from there. And you can add on right up to drinking. If you can avoid those, or if you say that I'm going to marry those, then you will continue to have happiness in mode of ignorance. What happens to a guy who is alcoholic, or let's say he's a social drinker? Slowly and steadily, every weekend he has his parties. The next day morning he comes and says, I want double strong cappuccino to remain awake. There is a hangover. Slowly and steadily his liver gets problems. So what are you trying to achieve by having that social drink? Krishna says, what looks like pleasurable in the beginning is going to end up as poison in the end. And you're only living in the world of illusion that my problems are disappearing. Do not make this mistake. Stop this effort to chase these temporary pleasures, temporary sensual things which give you that false temporary pleasure. Last verse says, now this is a very important verse because Krishna says this is not just for people who are in this world. This natad asti prithviyam va divi deveshu va punaha tattvam prakrutir jair muktam yad ebi syat tribir gunaihi. Summary of the influence of modes. He says, there is no being existing either here or amongst the demigods in the higher planetary systems which is freed from these modes born of material nature. And in the next section, Krishna gives an answer to Arjuna's question. Oh Arjuna, how do I solve this problem of being in under the influence of three modes? What is the essence of this mode? He says, Natad asti prithviyam va. There is no being in this world, in this prithvi loka, in this whole material world, which is free from the influence of three modes. He says, not only prithvi, divi deveshu vapuna, even the demigods who live in the upper planet are under the influence of modes. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they also get bewildered. Sattvam prakrutir jair muktam yad yabi sat tribir gunahe. They are not free from these three modes of nature, which are coming from the material nature. So, one thing we should realize that it is not easy to overcome the efforts of three modes because it is all pervasive. It has every nook and corner of this material world has the influence of these three modes. And if you were to think that just by going to the upper planetary system or planet, we are going to be free from them, no. That's why Krishna says, come back to Godhead. Come out of this upper planetary systems too. Come back to Goloka. Come back to Vaikunta, from where there is no possibility of rebirth. That we come to the end. Yes, these are all slides which are not. Okay, this is the end. So a quick summary. What we studied. This chapter has the acronym SMILE. We started with summary of karma. Arjuna asked, what is Tyaga? What is sannyasa? Krishna gives him the opinion. He says, please do not think of sannyasa. It's not your cup of tea because it is complete renunciation of action. He says, do Tyaga, which is renunciation of fruits of action. Charity, austerity, and penance must be performed as a matter of duty. And under the modes of nature, we covered what happens to knowledge, what happens to karma, what happens to the performer, buddhi, dhruti, and sukam. Now, what is the time now? If you all can give another 3 minutes, I will show you the video of summarizing what we discussed.
Yeah.
We take you to that part.
Without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. The worker who is always engaged in work against the injunctions of the Scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion, under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance. O son of Pritha, that determination which is unbreakable which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. But that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. And that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination, O son of Pritha, is in the mode of darkness. O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appear like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. There is no being existing, either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is freed from these modes born of material nature. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinct.
That's it. That is the next part. So with that, we come. Thank you very much for your patient listening. And
Thank
I
you.
must thank Krishna that he's been able to take me through this presentation without my slides. So if you have any questions,
Yeah, that's a miracle of Sri Krishna. He will do. He acts in mysterious ways.
yes. And imagine I have saved this on Google Drive, I have saved this in my pen drive, I have saved this in my laptop, but still I couldn't get my Om Tat Sat. I couldn't get my last presentation. And I had that presentation with me, you won't believe, till around 4:30. And suddenly my laptop shut down because some Windows update came. And thanks to that update, I lost my presentation.
Mahendra,
Not so much.
a small story regarding, a lady going to a shop to buy something and the shopkeeper says, Krishna, get me this.
Huh.
So the message was that you need to repeatedly probably utter the God's name or whatever.
Correct.
So what in our family or maybe in our religion, what we do is whenever we meet somebody, like you say Hare Krishna, we always say Jai Shri Krishna. And when we depart, we just say Jai Shri Krishna. At least by, uttering those words, we repeatedly utter the God's name.
Excellent, man. That is what is the spirit. Try to Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Hare Krishna. I'm in Vrindavan here. It is very popular to see Radhe Radhe.
Right.
I meet my milkman, I meet my security person, I meet my vegetable vendor, whoever it is, whether I know them or they don't know us. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Radhe Radhe. So no
So
good morning, no good evening.
Correct. Exactly. I
Radhe Radhe.
entirely agree with you. So when we write even some messages on WhatsApp, for example, I start with Jai Shri Krishna and then whatever it is, then I write.
Fantastic. See, that is what ritual has become spiritual. The moment we add Krishna into that, the whole battle is won.
Correct.
Simple things. And you can think of it so many things. It is so easy. The moment you start thinking, if you don't think, it is very difficult.
Yes. The other one is, you mentioned in one of the slides, reduce your desires to probably, be more happier in goodness. So, I mean, just to mention a passing remark types that I have never ever tasted tea in my life.
I have never ever tasted?
Tea. You mentioned, somebody is taking 15 cups of tea or 15 cups of coffee. I have never tasted tea in my life.
Fantastic. You are spiritually blessed, I'm telling you. If you are not tasted tea or coffee or any of these habit-forming drinks, it is a blessing from Krishna.
And my life is primarily driven by a fact that you have to have minimum requirements in life so that you have less of a disappointment in life. That's the way I live.
Perfect. That is detachment.
Yeah.
No expectation, less expectation.
Right.
And
Try
that
to
is
put it-
how we can progress. You can pick up all these input that Krishna gives to Arjuna quite easily because you are already on that platform.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like very difficult for you. So your mind is willing to accept and acknowledge.
Yes.
Thank you, Mahendra. Very good input. I'm going to remember you for a long time. I have never drunk tea in my life. Fantastic. All of us I have drunk and I have stopped. Now this is I know, but not having tasted at all, it is really unique. I have
No,
to start finding out who else are there like that. Any other input? Ramesha, I took your name for giving coffee example. Don't mistake me.
Well, I have now limited to 2 cups or maximum 3 cups a day.
Fantastic. So there is a day when you should say, I will not have 3, I will have 1, and then one day will come and you'll say 0.
Okay, a small thing, Shyam, once again,
Yeah.
like garlic and onion, you said
Yeah.
that, I mean, it is better avoided. Times, I
Right.
thought one of the reasons why people say that you don't take garlic and onion is primarily because they are tamasic.
Exactly. See, tamasic and rajasic are very closely interlinked.
All right.
So now, for example, you have this habit of getting angry at small things.
Yeah.
Onion is a catalyst.
Okay.
So and of course, now these are all you should learn from experience. And whether you're in tamasic or you're in rajasic, the end result is not going to be goodness. You must
Oh,
try to reach sattvic.
okay.
So that is the reason. Because anything which is pungent, anything which is too tika. Now you take garlic. The odor of garlic will be there. If you peel one garlic in one room, the whole house will have that odor.
Right.
That is a clear-cut giveaway sign of passion.
Okay.
And from passion to going to ignorance is very fast. The reverse
Okay.
is very difficult.
Yeah.
But then these are all, we come from cultures where onion and garlic have been part of the food for a long time, part of
Right.
the cuisine. And I'll tell you, when I go to Bangalore, where I come from, I find it very difficult to have food outside because there is nothing which is available which is made without onion and garlic.
Correct.
So and so you see, one way of looking at it is that, oh my God, I don't get food or I don't get opportunity to eat outside. Another thing is that if you eat outside, it has got more oil, it has got more salt. That is how it tastes so well. So if you don't eat outside, automatically your health is going to be much better.
Undoubtedly.
So that is how we should try to rationalize, saying that, oh, there is for a reason we are not able to eat outside.
Correct.
Any other questions? Any other, it need not be pertaining to this part. Anything which comes to your mind, which is an area of self-doubt. If there are no doubts, then I will give your Sunday evening back. Thank you very much. Let's all pray that, our Guru Maharaj goes back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.